Have you ever been at a family cookout thinking it's just going to be good food, some music, and cousins talking trash over spades or dominoes, and then leave wondering if your entire life was a lie? Because that's exactly what happened to me. I was 21 years old, home from college, just trying to get a plate and dip early before my auntie started asking if I had a special lady yet. Monica, my older sister, was her usual bossy self, yelling at my cousin Jackie about bringing store bought potato salad. Monica was always extra at family gatherings, like she had something to prove. But I love her. She always looked out for me. She was 15 years older than me, always more like a second mom than a sibling. But I never questioned it. I mean, Monica practically raised me, drove me to school, helped me with homework. She was always around, but never in my business, just present. She showed up at parent teacher conferences. She even threatened to beat up a kid who bullied me in fifth grade. Yeah, she was my big sister and my hero, or at least she used to be. The cookout was just getting good. Chicken sizzling on the grill, Uncle Kenny telling his same old jokes. I dipped outside for some air and caught the tail end of a conversation between my Aunt Gina and my mother. Monica better tell him before someone else does, my mother snapped. She should have told him years ago, Aunt Gina said, lighting her cigarette with shaking hands. That boy thinks his mother is his sister. I froze. The cigarette smoke didn't bother me. The sentence did. I stepped out from behind the tree. I was leaning against into the light. What did you just say? They both turned white. I wasn't supposed to hear that, but I did, and they knew it was over. The secret was out, and I was the last to know. I started questioning everything. Memories that felt solid started to crack, like how Monica would cry at night when she thought I was asleep, or how she never dated, never got close to anyone, or how she always protected and looked out for me. I thought it was just her being an overprotective sister. Now, I think it was guilt, or maybe fear I'd grow up and figure it all out. After I confronted Monica, all she could do was stare at me with tears in her eyes, in total shock, and lost for words that her secret was finally out. That doesn't make any sense. You've always been my sister. No, baby, she said, standing now. I was just 15 years old, Mama. I mean, your grandmother said the only way to keep you in the family and avoid shame was to raise you as her own. So she told everyone you were her adopted son. And I let her. You lied to me, my voice cracks. My whole life. I didn't want to, she says, her voice trembling. I wanted to tell you so many times, but they kept saying it would mess you up, that it was better this way. And you agreed? I asked. You let me grow up thinking my grandmother was my adopted mother, and that you were just the cool big sister who always had my back. I was always there, she pleads. Every school project, every scraped knee, every birthday. That was me. I never stopped being your mother. I just couldn't say it out loud. I guess my grandmother was done beating around the bush. Said she was too old for secrets. You want to know the truth, baby? Fine. You're old enough now. I found out that Monica got pregnant at 15 by some neighborhood boy who was your mother's childhood best friend, who ended up moving away before Monica even realized she was pregnant. Wow, my whole family covered it up. Said Monica had gotten into trouble and needed to start over. She was sent away to a home for girls, gave birth to me there, and when she came back, they pretended I was her little brother. My grandmother told everybody she had adopted me. Everyone believed it, she said. You were just a baby. You didn't know nothing, and we thought it was best. Best? Best for who? They let me grow up in the house where the woman I thought was my adopted mother was really my maternal grandmother, and the big sister I thought who loved and protected me as her own was really my biological mother. My whole family knew and said nothing. And the worst part, Monica said that she wanted to tell me. She begged them to let her, but they threatened to take me away from her if she said anything. Told her no man would ever want her if she came clean about being a teen mom, so she stayed silent. I feel like my entire life was stolen, like my identity was built on a lie I never asked for. And you know what's crazy? After all of it, I don't know who to be mad at. Monica for not telling me, my grandmother for forcing her into silence, or my dad, who was a 15-year-old boy who never knew I existed before he moved away, or myself for not seeing it sooner. You know, the thing that keeps me up at night isn't the lies, it's love. Because even after knowing everything, I still love Monica. But now I don't know how to love her as a sister, as a mother. I thought I knew who I was. But now I feel like I'm just a shadow of all the people I was never allowed to be. The son and the grandson. I mean, all this time I thought I was adopted. Turns out I'm really not. I never asked questions about my father. Growing up, it just wasn't a topic we talked about. All I knew was that I lived with my adopted mother and my big sister, Monica, and a rotating door of aunties and cousins. I felt love, so I never questioned it, never had a reason to. After the secret was finally out and all the tea was spilled, I didn't ask any questions about my dad. All I was told was that he was a neighborhood kid who moved away when Monica was young. His name was Marcus. Everybody in the family swore it was him because Monica and Marcus were thick as thieves as kids, even up into their teenage years. He used to live next door to my grandmother when Monica was a kid. Apparently, they were close, real close, so close. The family just assumed, and Monica let them. And just when I thought the truth had finished unraveling, my grandmother froze mid-sentence. Her whole face lit up like she'd seen a ghost. "Marcus," she said, walking across the lawn with her arms wide open. "Boy, look at you." I turned, and there he was, Marcus, the mystery man, Monica's childhood best friend, the guy everybody always low-key blamed for my fatherless childhood. Turns out one of my cousins ran into Marcus at the ball earlier that day and invited him to the cookout. What are the odds? He looked younger than I expected. Tall, light-skinned, faded up, skin glowing like he moisturizes daily. He's got this calm, gentle vibe, looked like he just stepped out of a 90s throwback photo. And right behind him were two other men, one a bit older, probably late 30s and close to 40 years old. Looked like Marcus, but taller, broader, with a sharp haircut and a smooth walk. Marcus also introduced the other dude, who was younger and kept close to Marcus, very close. Marcus introduced them casually. "Y'all remember my big brother, David, and this is my partner, Trey," Marcus says, with a big grin. Now that made heads turn. Cue the dramatic family silence. You know how black family cookouts go. All the aunties tried to act unbothered, but you could feel the shift. Folks started whispering, raising eyebrows. But what caught my attention was David. This man I'd never seen in my life. Moved just like me. Smiled just like me. Even tapped his soda can twice before sipping. I do that too. At one point, we locked eyes, and it was like a mirror 20 years in the future. I wonder if he thought so too, because he looks as confused as I felt. Later that evening, I'm walking past the patio and overhear Aunt Gina whisper to somebody, "I still can't believe Marcus is here." I wonder if he knows. I mean, it's nice, but he ain't been in that boy's life. And the person responds, maybe now that he's older, they can rebuild. He's Eli's daddy, after all. Marcus must have heard it too, because not even 5 minutes later, he finds Monica in the den. I follow him quietly. She's sitting on the floor with this old photo album on her lap. When Marcus walks in, she looks up and she knows what's coming. You told them I was his dad? Marcus says softly, not angry, just disappointed. Monica closes the album. They assumed. You let them assume for 21 years. Monica sighs, tears welling up. I was 15 years old, Marcus. I was scared. You were my best friend. You moved away, and it was easier to let them believe it than explain the truth. I step in because, hello, I'm right here. What truth? Monica looks at me, then at Marcus, and finally back to the photo album. She flips to a picture. It's her, maybe 15 years old, standing next to David, his arm around her shoulders. You weren't the one I was with, she says quietly to Marcus. It was your brother. The room goes still. Marcus drops into the nearest chair. David, he says in disbelief. He didn't know, Monica says. Nobody did. Not even me, at first. I didn't even realize I was pregnant until after you moved. She turns to me. Elijah, David is your father. I didn't know what to say. Marcus just shook his head, letting out this weird laugh. Wow. And all this time, I've been sending money and cars thinking I was helping my best friend raise her kid, when really, I was helping raise my nephew. Monica nods, crying. I never meant for it to go this far, but once it started, it just kept going. I know, Monica says, you didn't deserve that. David was 18, and I didn't want to get him into trouble. He didn't know he was older, leaving for college. I didn't want to ruin his life. And by the time I figured it out, it was too late. You were both already gone, and a lie had already started. I'm standing there, stunned. I felt the floor move. My legs shook, thinking back on every smile David gave me, every gesture, every joke, every instinct in me that felt drawn to him. David, the man who just asked me earlier what I was studying, the man who looked at me like he already knew me. He didn't even know he had a son. Now it all made sense. Later that night, Marcus found David outside. They talked for a long time. I watched from the window. David's face changed. He looked like someone had unplugged his entire past and rebooted it with a truth he never expected. When he came inside, he looked right at me. Same crooked smile, same eyes. Hey, Elijah, he said, voice shaky. Can we talk? I nodded. But inside, I had 1,000 questions because I didn't just find out who my father was that day. I found out what it feels like to meet yourself in someone else's face. It felt like my entire identity just shattered and reassembled in real time. And the man I look exactly like just found out he's been a father for 21 years. Now the question isn't just who am I? It's who do I become now that I know the truth?